This is the Crooked Rivercast, a show we hope will give us and our listeners a better view of what's going on in Northeast Ohio. This is May 31st, 2025. I'm your host, Robert, and joining me every week to help us explore what is going on in this great state of Ohio is my friend Tom. So let's see what we can get into today.
How you doing, Rob?
Good. How you doing, Thomas? Thanks for joining me today.
Not bad. It's a good weekend.
And thanks for our listeners, all of them, joining us today. We really appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to listen to two old fools talk about the news in Ohio.
That's about right.
It's about right. I think maybe we have to lean into that a little bit more. The old fools part is. But
hey, speak for yourself.
Oh yeah, the old or the fool part. I'm not which one. Because one you can argue, one you can't really. So,
okay.
Sorry, I'm a little ornery. Maybe this today. I don't know. Maybe this I'm a little crabby. It's not ornery, crabby. I'm a little tired. I spent a long duration of my day yesterday at Cedar Point.
Well, that sounds fun.
It was very fun. Did not expect to be there till close. But we were, and riding some of the rides. I haven't ridden a roller coaster at night in a long time. It is quite different. But I conquered the beast. I conquered Top Thrill 2. 420 feet.
That's new?
It's newish. So Top Thrill, the ride itself, the majority of the ride has been around 20 years. So they've always had issues, reliability with it. And the last 2 years ago, they shut it down and reinvented it. Brought another company in, and they kind of reinvented the ride. So the Cedar Point is acting like it's a new coaster.
Okay.
It's really not, but they made it better. So if anyone doesn't know, Top Thrill basically is dragster themed roller coaster, and it had at the time a very innovative, unique launch system. It wasn't a chain or anything. It's magnetic, and it propels you up the hill. They always had problems with that, always breaking down. So what they've done now is basically the whole ride is they start you from the stopping position, you shoot you up 420-foot hill, and you go up, over, and as you come down, you do a twist, and that's basically the ride. So what they've done now, because they always had problems with the launch system, you go up halfway the hill, then you go backwards up a 200 and some foot spire that goes straight up,
and then shoots you back up,
then shoots you back down through the station again, and then they boost you one more time and get you up and over the hill.
That sounds fun.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Get your heart pumping there.
Cool. Very cool.
And the line was only 30 minutes. Like, you couldn't go wrong. So
not many people, or just
it just still tends to break down a little bit, but instead of breaking down for days, it's like an hour. So I think we had just walked past right up at the time they reopened it. So the line had gone down, and I just looked at my daughter. I said, "It's 30 minutes. We're about to go eat dinner." I said, "It's 30 minutes." She's like, "We got to go." I'm like, "Yeah, we got." I'm like, "Sorry, honey. We you guys got to wait for dinner. We got to go on this ride." And it didn't go in under an hour all day.
You went on that once, or
one time?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff. It was a light day, I think, for Cedar Point, a medium so it wasn't too bad. But
it was a weekday, or kind of
Friday, but it's right before all the schools get out. So there are some schools that are out now, but most of them are still at the tail end of their year. So there was actually a few schools there we talked to somebody from New York.
No kidding.
A couple of high school on their senior trip from New York. Cool. So they were freaking out. There wasn't in the line for Top Thrill. They were kind of freaking out, having second thoughts as we got closer. Cedar Point is great. Just a quick review. Cedar Point is Cedar Point. Everybody, if you've been there, you know what to expect. I would say they really need to improve their food. Really, really need to improve their food. It's
you need to puke up better food.
It's carnival food, but can you step it up a bit? Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the point, right? Don't spend too much on food because you're just going to puke it back. All right. So that was yesterday. So I'm trying to really keep the energy up today because I was after 11 before we got home. It's a late one for me.
So that's where the old part comes in, right?
The old part, the full part is coming in right now.
Okay.
So we're going to have to start the show on maybe a slightly sad note for those of us in Ohio and in the music industry. I think think Rick Derringer has passed away at 77 years old. And if you don't know who Rick Derringer is, you may know from this song here.
Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Sloopy lives in a very bad part of town. And everybody...
So that is Rick Derringer singing for the McCoys on Hang On Sloopy.
It's so funny because I don't even think of that song when I think of Rick Derringer. So,
No, me either.
yeah.
Kind of a
Go ahead.
blast from the past when I heard the name. That's
Yeah. It's to me, Rick Derringer is, which is my favorite all-time rock and roll song, is this
Yes.
one.
Yep.
Stop moving when it first took hold.
It's like rock and roll hoochie coo was like the thing
Yes.
that got me wanting to play guitar. I mean,
Yes. Oh, was it? I did not
pretty
know that.
much, yeah. I mean, there was a couple of songs out there that made me want to play, and this is one of them. Whenever somebody asks me like what my favorite all-time rock song is, it's rock and roll hoochie coo.
Nice. Yeah, that is classic. I mean, that song specifically reminds me of, well, the movie Dazed and Confused. Was it on that soundtrack? Maybe it wasn't.
It could be. I
It should have
forget. For sure. I mean, my favorite version of that song is him and Johnny Winter doing it live. But like that song is just, it's timeless.
It is.
To me, for me, it's timeless.
It's funny how you went there, and I went to this right here. That's where
Is that a recording of yours?
No, that's not a recording. That is. I pulled a clip. That's a YouTube clip of Ohio State.
Yeah.
At I think where it's a shoe probably, but for most, I think everybody's heard Rick Derringer in one way, especially if you live in Ohio, either whether it's through that or through Hoochie Coo. So,
Yeah, rock and roll hoochie. He had some hits. He had an unusual career. I think he had more of a live playing career than like a recording career. He had his, I forget what album the rock and roll hoochie coo was on, but that album was pretty good for him. But then after that, it was kind of just, he sold out concerts, but didn't really have many, let's say like hits. He just kind of, he did some producing and writing, but as far as like a recording artist, he wasn't that big of a recording artist, more of a live artist, which brings me, it's like, strangely, I was playing down in Florida at an event with my band, and this is like back in 1998. I had to look it up when I saw that Rick Derringer passed.
There's the old part.
Pardon
There's
me?
the old part. There's the old part of the Fools.
Yeah,
1998. Sorry. So you were in Florida in 1998.
Yeah, I was playing a gig down there with my band, and we just got done playing a song, and I turn around and I'm tuning my guitar, and that takes a few seconds. I hear some just racket going on. The next thing I know, I turn around and I'm looking out in the audience. I see my bass player out in the audience. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And there's this guy on stage, two guys, a bass player and a guitar player. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then another guitar player gets on stage. I'm like, shoot, this is not going to be good. And then the owner of the club comes up and he starts announcing announcing that Rick Derringer is going to play a few tunes with with our band, and I got a chance to play like I think it was about 4 or 5 songs, just standards, none of his
Wow,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, it's
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
even weirder. I don't want to say it on the podcast, but even weirder. You could look it up on YouTube. It's there.
Okay.
I am back up to Rick Derringer. It was pretty fun.
So the LP was All American Boy for Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Yeah, that's it.
And funny anecdote is his first big time hit, it says, was for Weird Al Yankovic's Eat It. I think he played a replica of Eddie Van Halen's iconic guitar solo from Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Yeah, he did the Weird Al Yankovic. I think he played on that, but I think he also produced it.
Well, yeah, he begun to produce. Yeah, it says he also began producing, eventually helming the first big hits for Weird Al Yankovic's 1984. His 1984's Eat It.
Yeah, I think
album. He did the whole album.
Yeah, I think so, and I think he did stuff for Cyndi Lauper. A bunch of people. He had a great career.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he didn't have a great career, but whenever I think of Rick Derringer, I think of Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo and Hang On Sloopy.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as recording, that's about it. But he sold out concerts, and he was a big deal. Other musicians loved him. He was a gracious guy. I mean, he was super sweet. After we got done playing, he was just a very kind man. So it was cool.
Oh, which is notable because in the music and entertainment industry, it's not always the case.
Sometimes you really don't want to meet your heroes.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So R.I.P. Rick Derringer.
Yeah.
Thanks for the music. We are still enjoying it today. So first thing off of my list is in the state budget this year. Apparently, they're putting in 2 sexes in the state budget. They're going to actually put a line in the state budget stating there are 2 sexes. In other news, 2 + 2 is 4, and the sky is blue. So they're going to put that in there next, apparently.
Sweet.
Technically, the sky isn't blue, Robert. The sky is actually clear, but it's a reflection of the sky. Anyway.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks. So first real actual story I think I was looking at was this. There's a couple bills in the state right now, or in the state legislature right now, to bar Ohio to buy land purchases in Ohio, to barring some certain immigrants from certain countries from buying land in Ohio. Okay. They are considering foreign adversaries, banning quote unquote foreign adversaries from buying property, large swaths of property in protected areas. Protected areas such as 25-mile radius around either military facilities and any other kind of critical infrastructure, such as water treatment facilities, railroads, and electric generating facilities. What countries? Well, what countries do you think, Tom? You got any
China?
guesses? China is top on the list. Imagine that. Cuba. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm not sure I'm worried about too many people from Cuba coming over here and buying a bunch of property but I mean, Iran.
Okay.
North Korea.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
Venezuela under the regime of Maduro.
Okay.
It literally says that. Venezuela under the regime of Maduro. Okay.
Why would it say that?
What's that?
Why does it say that?
Because normally, if it wasn't under Maduro, maybe Venezuela wouldn't be on the list because he's big bad guy, I guess, in Venezuela, which I don't know. I've heard of. He's not, but it's not. Is it Russia under Vladimir Putin? Like, no, it's not. North Korea without, it's just weird. That's why I kind of highlighted it. So yeah, these would be considered foreign adversaries. Okay, it seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, some of the proponents are a little upset. Vincent Wang, this is the quote of the day, I think, for me. I wish I had
You
a clip.
said Wang.
I did. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I know it's not safe for work anymore, but we'll have to click that off the checkbox there. So Vincent Wang, I said it again. He's the chair of the Asian American Coalition of Ohio. I really wish I could have found this clip if I dug a little hard. Maybe if I wasn't at Cedar Point so late, I would have found it. But he's saying they are targeting all of civilization.
What? What?
That's his quote. We must call this out. A racist agenda.
Xenophobic, probably, right?
All of civilization. No, not really. Really, just China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela, only under Maduro. Nope.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it. But that's really it. They're trying to push this through, and there's people crying.
This is Ohio, HB1 and
HB1 and sorry.
SB 88. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot to mention that, even though it's big and bold right in front of me.
Yeah, it's I think it's a good thing. I think it should be a federal law. Arkansas just banned it.
Yeah, I think there's multiple states that are doing similar things.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them started out west.
If you look on the map where like China owns large swaths of land, and then you see where the military bases are, you're kind of like sitting there going, this is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Why exactly why exactly does China need its own police force in America?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
that's a whole nother story. Like, they literally have police stations in certain areas of the country, assumingly to follow their own people who are here. But everybody else is.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
And in 2020, here's a little anecdote, I guess. In 2023, they had a similar bill that DeWine vetoed.
Of course.
He did, but I guess he did sign off on the language for this bill, but we'll see. Because he's just to back the agricultural, because agricultural, that's the other thing, is buying large swaths of farmland from foreign countries. There's another thing we've been looking at over the past few years, at least.
Right. So
they're pushing that through, and seems legit. I could see where maybe some people might get caught up in it, as innocent bystanders, if you will. But I think it's something that should be. Something that should not be. E-checks. So the Ohio legislature has passed the E-check Act of Ohio, and DeWine has signed it. What does this mean? Well,
DeWine signed it?
Well, wait a minute. What does it say? That it says, yeah, he has signed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it got that far. Okay. Cool.
But now, that's not the end of it.
What?
We signed it, and now it has to go to our EPA.
Oh, that's fine.
Our EPA has to then go to has to approve it, and then has to go to federal EPA director.
Yeah,
I'm not worried that's not. It's not. I think they're going to get there's many reasons to look at it, even as an environmentalist, to say, okay, this makes sense. So one of the reasons, I think, in case anyone's wondering, it's $11 to $12 million a year for this program.
That's what it costs, right?
That's what it costs. For the last 30 years, we've been doing this. Basically, what they're going to do now is you're going to have to sign an affidavit stating that your car is in compliance. It is not malfunctioning.
When you're getting your driver's license, yeah, it's just like when you say you have insurance. Yeah, you just sign a piece of paper. So
I think basically it's like you're just signing an affidavit saying your e-check light is, or and some cars do have, I think, have an e-check light, but or your check engine light isn't on, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that it's running, according to the way it's supposed to run.
Right. And then, like similar, I don't know, trying to figure out why we need that. Why?
Just to make people happy. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be.
You're going to sign two things. You're going to sign two things now when you go get your driver's license. One for insurance and one for the e-check.
Yep, that's what you're going to have to do. And if anyone thinks the e-check should stay, I'd really like to hear from you. And you can get a hold of us through crookedrivercast@gmail.com. If you
That it
think we're
should
wrong,
stay.
if you think it should stay, please email us at crookedriver@gmail.com.
Well, I don't know if I want to hear from those people.
Eh,
Why not?
why not? It might be entertaining. On the same note, is also a bill in SB 80, which is a gas quality bill in the Senate. And what they want to do is they want to establish probably more government. That's what it's, well, yes, here's the key. Sponsored by a Democrat, Catherine Ingram, and also Willis Blackshear, Democrat Dayton. So definitely in bigger government. Would enable county auditors to implement programs. That's what SB 80 is, for testing the quality of motor fuel at gas stations. I'm kind of torn on this. I kind of want good gas for my car.
How are they going to test it? What are the metrics for testing? I don't know, because I don't think there's that much difference, but they do have different detergents in them. I just want to make sure that, I guess, the octane that you're paying for is what you're getting.
Right. So I'm torn, because do you rely on business to do this, which is what we're currently doing, or do we rely on government to do this? And neither of which, to me, I would feel comfortable.
Well, so you need an outside. You feel like you need an outside source besides the government.
I would say you would need a third party,
right,
between the two, the companies and the governments, because we're talking about large gas companies and large governments. So I think for the people, need a third party to make sure they're getting what they're paying for, because guaranteed this comes with some money, because you can't have county auditors doing any extra work without hiring, many more people, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure their workload is just way too busy right now to start doing new stuff. I mean, they're county auditors. I mean, they're busy.
I don't think we need this, actually.
And that's the other thing, is how is it going so far? I don't know. Gas is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem. I mean, 20 years ago, maybe. I think cars are just tuned so fine now that, like, I don't think there's a problem with the gas.
If you have a problem with, if you in today's day, if you have a problem with gas or a company, you can do a lot on the internet to make sure they, a couple of tweets or a couple of posts on social media about bad gas at a gas station, and you've seen it time and time again. Companies will respond to that,
right?
That peer pressure, kind of the public pressure kind of stuff. So, do we need a more government? No, I don't think so. But again,
no.
But again, if you think we're wrong, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Yeah, that's kind of my kind of question on the whole thing. Do we want to trust companies or governments? And I'd say, let's trust the people. Moving on to, speaking of maybe some government overreach, as we're talking about getting rid of e-checks and gas quality bill, another Republicans in state legislature want to start meddling with the recreational marijuana law.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The Senate bill. There's a Senate bill now, 56. So they're just moving forward with it. I can't talk today. They're just moving ahead with it, and they're taking two bills and combining them. And basically, the bill still limits THC potency. Ohioans can share product, which I think in the last bill, previous version, you couldn't. So they changed that. Limits consumer to partaking at private homes. So you can only partake it in your home or your friend's home or whatever. But what they're doing is they're adding instead of a complete public smoking ban. They've revised it for certain outdoor concerts.
Really?
Which yeah. I got a clip here actually, if you want me to
Please.
play it. Yeah. Real quick. They've been trying to modify this since 2023. I guess the only other thing that's like the main thing is like right now, 36% of the taxes go to the participating municipalities. So if your your city is has a what are those places called?
Dispensary.
If they get a portion of the taxes that the dispensary, the city gets it. So it was kind of a benefit for cities to say, yes, we want dispensaries in our town. They're going to drop that from 36% to 25%, and then after 7 years, eliminate it. So the state wants to gobble up all the taxes,
All the tax revenue. That,
which I don't know if I like. So
no.
Yeah, there's something weird about that which I don't like. And the last thing is that they're gonna control where derivatives of THC derivatives like Delta 8 are sold. So you're gonna only be able to get those at dispensaries. But I can play the clip here.
Please. Roll with the clip.
Closer to making long-debated changes to cannabis laws before they break for the summer. The newest version of the bill modifying state marijuana laws still puts limits on how potent THC products can be. But the latest round of amendments permit sharing some products at a person's home. And although it limits Ohioans to partaking at private homes, the public smoking ban now has one notable exception: certain outdoor concerts. Republican State Representative Jamie Callender, a longtime legalization advocate, says he's closer to getting behind the bill.
That to me was a huge thing. If you go to a Grateful Dead concert, you shouldn't have to look over your shoulder when you're passing a joint.
Legislative leaders say they want the bill to advance before June 30th.
So that's about it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to play that because it was funny to hear a lawmaker say pass around a joint.
Say pass around a joint. I think the biggest thing in this bill is that 36 to 25 to nothing after 7 years. That is that makes me think.
Hey, there's something awfully screwy going on around here.
Yeah,
Why?
DeWine wants his money. I don't know. The article didn't have any information on this. I got this from the State House News Bureau. This was by Sarah Donaldson. I think she's the one who did the clip too. So not much info, but they're moving ahead with it. We talked about it a little bit a few shows back. So
Yeah, that's, like I said, it's a lot less to do with where and when you could smoke it, and more to do with who gets what money. That's what that's all about. And honestly, I think the biggest issue for me on this whole thing is this is what happens when you leave it up to the little Congress critters instead of putting it in the Constitution. Because I think medical's in the Constitution, and you really can't do much with it without editing the Constitution. And this is a bill. The recreational part of marijuana is a bill in Ohio that they can tweak at any moment. So I think that's where kind of some of it's good, but I think it feels like on some of it I don't understand. Like why are you limiting this and that? And it just seems like they're meddling with shit that they don't need to. Excuse me, meddling with stuff that they need. They don't need to.
I don't know. They're just it seems like
justifying their jobs. Justifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what it feels. But
They didn't even mention how many plants somebody can grow because they were gonna limit
they were trying
that
to cut
to
it. Yeah.
cut it by a little bit. It wasn't. I mean, unless you're like a seller, yeah, it might hurt you. But
Right. I think they're trying to prevent that probably too. Is
yeah, I
people
think
growing
so
a bunch
because
and selling it under the table, and they don't get a cut of that. So it's
I think it was like it is at 12 plants. I think you can have like 6
Holy
flowering.
cow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a considerable amount.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for a household of like a bunch of potheads, it's not that bad, but
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I guess, yeah, it is a lot, I guess. But if you're, depends depending how you grow things, you don't grow them all at one time. You grow them in stages so that you have
Well,
harvests, a regular
it's
harvest.
12 plants, so 6 can be in the flowering stage and 6 can be in the growing stage.
Okay, there you go.
So that's what they're doing. But that pretty much means you can have a rotation all year long. I mean, if you're doing it indoors.
Yeah. All right. So more the critters meddling with stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Next on the list for me would be a little more school propaganda. Maybe a little more of a. Maybe we'll do a little. No,
what's up?
That was not the right. That was not the right. It was supposed to be this. Propaganda. I feel this is a little propagandish, even though they do kind of put both sides in this. And this is News Channel 5 is, again, pushing the state, or they're pushing their propaganda on state funding for public schools. And that's kind of what I wanted to really touch on was this one story. First of all, there's 2 of them here. I'm gonna touch on with some clips here, and we'll start with ABC News, Channel 5. On the bill going through the Senate now for school funding, and well, you'll see.
Down to Columbus now, where lawmakers are working to bridge budgets. First, Governor DeWine unveiled his. Then the House passed its version, which cut public education funding by $351 million.
Lie.
Caps the amount of money districts can carry over between their budgets at 30%, and gives private schools $500 million.
What? Wait, what does it do? Hold on.
Private schools $500 million.
Oh. So it gives private schools $500 million. No, don't think it gives private schools any money. It gives me money.
Right.
But not private schools. And we didn't cut anything. Again, not a cut. And I keep touching on this show after show because we get a lot of new listeners, and I want to make sure they're putting this in front of everybody's face, and they're tugging on your emotional heartstrings. It is not a cut. Tom, can you explain? What are they doing with this?
They're just not getting as much as they thought they would, but there's no cuts. I forget how much they're getting. But
how do you claim you're cutting school funding when the state has increased school funding by $226 million for the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think they were expecting like $600 million. Is that what it was?
The Fair Funding Act, whatever this, it comes with, it creates some metric that they're going around county by county and district by district and saying this district should have this much money, this district should have that much money. And so that formula stated that the state needed to inject $800 million in the school per year, more into the school budget. What the districts were asking for was $660 million increase. What the state has right now they've kind of agreed upon is $226 million increase. Right. Nothing's being cut.
Nothing's been cut. And the Democratic Party, what they're doing is they're spinning it to make it sound like there was a cut, and that only the upper class people are getting the benefits of the the school vouchers.
The school vouchers. And no public school, they're not just sending public school $500 million. That's not how it works. I, as a parent, get to choose where I put my kid, and then I give them the school the information, and then they ask the state for the money. So they're not just blindly writing checks, what the way they portray it. Okay, let's go into the second clip because there's more.
Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District prioritizes musical expression for their students.
I'm part of band, and we go on trips.
Oops. Wrong
one.
Yeah. I could double up on some. Oh, I was very tired this morning.
I was going to say, there's no more late nights for you, Rob.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's go. Let's try this. Let's see what this one could be.
Through a proposal to cap districts' rainy day funds to 30% and refunding anything above that back to taxpayers.
Schools are just sitting on.
Actually, no, this was the right clip. Edit point. This was the right clip, I think. Yeah.
Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District prioritizes musical expression for their students.
I'm part of band, and we go on trips and we play music, we perform.
And for flautist freshman Kennedy Brown, she's been waiting for a trip for the musicians to go to New York.
We do master classes, which actually enhance our playing and make us better players.
Brown and Emmanuel Gutierrez came to Columbus to represent the school, testifying in the state Senate about the importance of education funding. The district should have received $7 million from the state under the expected funding formula, but under
expected funding formula,
right?
They were going to get $7 million from the expected. Let's back a little bit.
Funding formula, but under cuts in the House version of the school budget, they would only receive $700,000.
Only.
Do you fear that that trip won't happen if school funding's cut?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she worries the state will squeeze school budgeting even more.
Oh, they're going to. So you're right. They're going to cut it. They're going to squeeze you even more because the district for Cleveland Heights was expected to get $7 million for these types of programs. $7 million. That's just for one school district.
That's crazy.
But they're only getting $700,000.
My, what can I do with that?
Next clip.
Through a proposal to cap districts' rainy day funds to 30% and refunding anything above that back to taxpayers.
The schools are just sitting on a lot more money than they can spend.
House Speaker Matt Huffman says it will provide much needed relief to property owners.
The extra money that you have that you didn't need to spend and you don't need to start your year while your other taxes are coming in, we are going to reduce the real estate taxes in that school district on a pro rata basis.
The Senate is currently reviewing hundreds of amendments to the House's passed budget. And although the chamber's proposal isn't out yet, we do know that Senate leadership has already said that the 30% cap is too low.
It's going to be a conversation we're going to have, definitely.
Well, there you go. So that's how they pull on your heartstrings. The children, oh my gosh, they're not going to be able to go to some concert somewhere. People, I'm sorry. But this is where we're at. We can't fund everything. We just can't fund everything. Tom?
Oh, I agree. Totally agree.
And the fact that they are putting this crap out there, and then at the end of the clip they put, or at the end of the report they put in, oh, but actually, then they put the other side on it. You know what I mean? It's like, how many people get to the end of the report, all that other stuff. I just watch this stuff and it just makes my blood boil because of like my parents and my siblings come back to me and be like, oh yeah, they're cutting school funding. I'm like, they're not cutting school funding. Do you know anything about? No, they don't know because all they hear is the headline. Well, that wasn't the only thing. There was another one that I found that they just, Tom, the national endowments they're getting cut. What are people? They? Yes, the federal funding is being cut. They've had letters go out, and it's a travesty. Let's see what again. That last clips was ABC. This is also ABC News Channel 5 in Cleveland. What's going on in national endowments?
It was a surprise for several nonprofits in Northeast Ohio, and one they did not want. Grants awarded from the National Endowment for the Arts were suddenly stripped and rescinded. The notices came as President Trump proposed his budget, calling for the elimination of the National Endowment for the Arts altogether, which provides hundreds of millions of dollars each year to individuals and institutions around the country. News 5's Clay Lepard shows us how local organizations are now scrambling.
Nice music.
Notes from a guitar change the tune, set the scene, and can make us feel.
That's beautiful.
Exactly.
How do we make this?
Listen to him. Music can set the tone and make us feel. Oh, it gets worse.
set the scene, and can make us feel.
That's beautiful. How do we make that sound dramatic?
For 8th grader Marshawn Gates,
We're back there, but we want to make sure that we're leading up to that, building the anticipation.
he's able to find the right note because he takes free lessons from the Cleveland Classical Guitar Society.
I love making music.
Something he's done
Free.
for 4 years now.
4 years.
Last year, this nonprofit received a $30,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts, a grant to help fund after-school guitar classes for kids in Cleveland, with a focus on youth from local underserved communities.
Not all kids get equal opportunities.
Underserved.
And we want to make sure, really, that every kid has the opportunity to study an instrument and to become exceptional on it.
However, earlier this month, one note changed it all. The nonprofit received an email from the National Endowment for the Arts saying it was terminating their grant to focus on other projects prioritized by the president.
What could those things be, Tom? I mean, what could be more important than kids taking free guitar lessons for $30,000 a year? What could be more important? Let's see.
Projects, including those that foster AI competency, make America healthy again, and focus on making the District of Columbia safe and beautiful.
We didn't fit their
Bastards.
priorities anymore in serving inner city youth.
Yeah, you could say, yes, you did not fit priorities at this current time because $37 trillion in debt and spending god-awful amounts of money. Okay.
Yeah, that was...
I got more, Tom.
That clip was something else there.
Oh, I got more. It gets better. Let's try clip 2.
And it wasn't just them.
Not just them, Tom.
Any other notice. It was just terminated.
The Chagrin Documentary Film Festival was told it's...
Well, here's a notice. Donald Trump was elected, and he was saying this whole election. And then he passed his budget proposal, and it had it in the proposal. It's not a surprise. You knew it was coming.
Was told its $15,000 grant was gone too.
To get a grant is very exciting, and to feel like, okay, we've got this, we can plan. Unfortunately, now we have to go back to the drawing board and really take a hard look at things.
No, a hard look at things. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Again, I'd love to be able to do this. But right now is not the time. It's cut until it hurts time. And that's what the people voted for. I'll continue.
For others, like the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival, they're appealing the NEA's decision.
How much had you already spent?
How much?
Of that
Almost all of
$50,000.
it.
Hoping to recoup money spent towards connecting children to films and filmmakers at the festival.
Now we're looking at student programming that we might have to cut due to this.
It's not clear
The students. Oh my gosh, not the students.
when those appeals will be processed and decided. Grants are slated to be fully terminated at the end of this week. Clay Lepard, News 5.
Doom.
I got to ask, why doesn't, okay, so government is funding all this. And I think it's good stuff. I'm not going to say it's not. I think the arts are important, but
Very
why
important.
doesn't the art museum, this Severance Hall, or the Cleveland Orchestra, and other institutions raise funds for this? Why does it have to be the government?
Right.
That's what I don't get.
And why does it have to be the federal government sending the money? If you want this stuff to really be impactful. Well, it's not from the federal government. You need to do that at the local level, and you need to get your own philanthropists.
Yeah,
those
that's
things.
right.
to put up their own cash, which is the way it used to happen. And the more here's the catch: the more the government funds of these things, the less the wealthy, the super wealthy, you want to call them, will fund it. Because why? Why should I fund it when government's already doing it? Just like charity.
Well, right.
But we get less and less charitable the bigger the government gets.
They could probably they could probably raise more money just by hey, if you're going to come see the Cleveland Orchestra, $10 of your ticket is going to go towards this endowment,
those exact people. So what's the Good News Channel 5, they did have a little of the other side to it. Again, it's at the end of the heartstrings, being pulled so much about the children. So what's the other side have to say?
We did speak with Senator Bernie Moreno, who says this is all part of the larger push to shrink the size of the federal government.
The government has continued to grow, skyrocketed, almost 2.5 million federal employees, $2 trillion a year deficits, $37 trillion in debt. We had to make the government more efficient, more effective, deliver better services for less money. It's something taxpayers have been demanding for decades.
Exactly what we talked about last show. This is the movement. This is the mandate right now in America. Like it or leave it.
Yeah, it is.
Cut, baby, cut. And all I can say to that is,
give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Next in the lineup.
Feeling a little bit better getting that off your chest?
I do. And actually a little bit more awake now that my blood pressure's up. Can you tell me what is going on? I see in your lineup you have a story for Canadian wildfires and how is it going to be horrible for the air quality in Ohio. Anything on that we need to touch on? We had talked about this a little bit.
We talked about this, how they manufactured the results of our air quality because of the wildfires in Canada. It's just a quick mention. I wanted to actually hit
similar to what we just talked about. It's the BS in the media. It's kind of how they craft it.
Yeah, I guess this weekend. So it might be this weekend next week. So anybody listening to this, if the sky is hazy, it's because of Canadian wildfires. So that's all I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, it's certainly not because of manufacturing in our area. That's definitely not.
No. It's the wildfires. So we might get a couple of weeks of hazy skies. I did want to. One thing we skipped over here is the citizenship requirement for voting. Senate Bill 153.
Did I skip over that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay.
Okay.
Ohio senators are considering a plan to require voters to show proof of citizenship to register to vote. And really all it is, I don't know how this changes, but again, they're saying there's no widespread evidence of voter fraud, despite Republicans warning for years about the possible threat of non-citizen voters. So what they're trying to do is, like, when you go to register to vote, you would have to show your ID. Like, I thought we did that already.
Well, we do that when we go to vote, but when you register, that's what I saw of it. They when you register, they want you to show proof of, but you didn't have to do that before?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long since I registered. I don't remember. I went to the post office and registered. So I don't remember if I gave my ID, but I guess the BMV typically has all the records if you're a citizen. So it's going to go through the BMV first. They're going to say yay or nay on if you're a citizen. And if they can't verify it, then you have to bring in a valid birth certificate, U.S. passport, or a naturalization document before casting a ballot. And if it still hasn't been cleared before you cast the vote, you'll have to do a provisional.
Provisional, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. But so what? They're going to do a provisional vote. Opponents of the bill emphasize the complications it would create, which I don't understand what complications there are. They argued that the changes would lead to dramatic increases in provisional voting. 34,000 of them got rejected in 2024. I don't know. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Second most popular reason for rejection is lack of proper ID, which, again, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no duh moment for me. Like, yeah, I think you need to prove who you are.
Well, we have an ID law here, so this is going to, make sure anybody registering is a citizen. And this is my favorite quote. This means voters attempted to vote, but because of our strict photo ID rules, they either didn't have proper ID or simply forgot to bring it. Now, who forgets to bring their ID? I mean, I guess it can happen, but okay, go home, get it, and
I guess, yeah, occasionally, but
So, this is a good bill. I think it should be. I think it should be stricter. I don't think you should be able to just show your driver's license when you go to register. I think you should actually bring in, your birth certificate or U.S. passport.
Yeah.
But I think it should go further. Actually, that's what I'm saying.
I think it should go further too. I think you should only vote on one day instead of for 3 weeks. But that's a whole other story. I think that has there's a lot of voter fraud that comes with that. The extended voting and all this stuff.
Here's the story for this is like a thing. This made me laugh. Okay, Scott Sibley recalled helping his 86-year-old grandfather get a state ID card when he was no longer able to drive. They gathered several documents, including a birth certificate and social security card, but couldn't meet all 5 of the elements required by the state BMV. It took a total of 3 visits to get all the necessary documents. Okay, so they're unorganized. They don't know what they're doing. At the time of the government, photo IDs were not yet a requirement for voting. But after this episode, I understood the argument against such requirements.
What?
So he's arguing because it was such a pain in the ass to get an ID for his 86-year-old grandfather who, I'll get to this in a second. Anyways, and this is my favorite. And is this any way to treat an elderly World War II veteran? Yeah, exactly. So now a neighbor last year went to not assisted living, but he went to a old folks home, put it that way. He was 86 years old. The last time I visited him was, not the last time, but one of the times I visited him was right before the 2024 election. And he was a pretty, he was a conservative, a hardcore Republican. I'd say not far right or anything like that, but just hardcore Republican. And I asked him, "Hey, are you voting?" He says, "No." I'm like, "Oh, why not?" He's like, "I don't know what's going on anymore." He's like, He's 86 years old. Like, this guy still had the wit about him to say, "You know what? Maybe it's time for me to back out because I don't know everything that's going on." Because he used to really pay attention to the news and stuff. And he's like, I don't. He watches the news and he's like, "I don't know what the hell's going on anymore." And he did vote in 2016 and 2020, but he finally said, "No, I'm not going to vote."
Not good on him.
Yeah. So this guy taking his 86-year-old grandfather and whining about it and then trying to tug at your heartstrings about him being a World War II vet. I'd like to know, is his father actually voting or is he, pulling the strings on or whatever you want to call it?
Well, this is exactly the same as, voter ID laws are racist because people of color or minorities they don't know how. Are they too stupid to get voter IDs? Is he too senile to get an ID? Well, if you're too senile to get an ID, if you're too stupid to know how to get an ID, you're probably too stupid or senile to vote. Let's go with that.
It's just they're trying to tug at your heartstrings with this story. You know,
they've been doing it for years with every state that tries to enact voter ID laws. It's just This is the first time I've heard them go with the ageist view.
Yes, which I found that's what I cracked me up because I'm like because of my neighbor that just reminded me of my old man neighbor here. So, but anyways, that's what's happening with in the Senate House. It's Senate Bill 153.
All these last 2 or 3 stories all come back to one quote in my mind, which I believe is Thomas Jefferson. Question with boldness, even the very existence of God, because he'd rather honest questioning than blindfolded fear.
Yep.
So question everything with boldness, everything, especially when you agree on it, especially when it's your side or whatever you want to call that. That's what all this comes down to is don't let them take this for granted. Be objective. Don't let them just apply this propaganda to you and pull at your heartstrings. Step back for a minute and look at it logically. Look at it from your pocketbook. Look at it from whatever angle you have to. But
Oh, man. Robert.
I know.
We'd have to repeal the 19th for that.
Oh. Wow, that's like that got me in the rant I could get into. We don't have time for, but
on that note, I got to take a quick break.
Yep, break time. All right, we're back, and thanks for pulling me back on that. That's an important the voter registration thing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to some of these other ones pretty quick because we're running up to an hour already. Canadian wildfires. Oh yeah, so real quick, the city of Cleveland, as far as we can tell, has accumulated over $500,000 in legal fees to try to keep the Browns. So there's that. So as they struggle with the budget in Cleveland, they're dumping a bunch of money down an empty pit for a team that's moving. Can you touch on the Cleveland Clinic copay story real quick? Because I've touched on this. I've looked at this a couple times, and I never pulled it for a story because it seemed like a lot to do with nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I had it pulled last week or the week before, and then I just tossed it because of I didn't think it was a big deal. Cleveland Clinic changed their policy to you needed to if you had a copayment, you had to pay it at your appointment. So if you couldn't pay your copay, you would have to reschedule your visit.
That's probably the biggest issues people don't know. So instead of having it billed to you later on, they're asking for it up front.
They're asking for it right there on the spot, the copay.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought that's how it worked anyways, but
honestly, I did too. I don't know.
Inexperience. I just didn't know.
And it's not for everything. It's just for like your standard. You go to emergency room or urgent care, they're not going to refuse you because you don't have your copay.
No. This is just for
standard doctor's appointments.
Right. So I guess there was an uproar. Mm-hmm. So they kind of they walked that back. So now their policy is going to be if you can't afford it, what they'll do is set up a payment plan with 0% interest rate. You won't have to reschedule your visit. So I guess pardon me?
Aren't copays like $50 or $100 or?
I think it's different for what type of insurance you have.
Yeah, but they're generally not they're generally not like $3,000 or anything, are they?
No, not that. Unless you're having some. I don't think it was for surgery or anything like that. But
I'm just questioning like the your payment plan for the copay. Or are they talking about a payment plan for what your visit's going to be? Because for me, copays are like $50 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what everybody's insurance. For me, it's I have $25 copay for like a regular visit. I think it might be more for different types of.
It's just weird that they would set up a payment plan for what I would think is not a very large amount of money. But hey, whatever.
I thought it was unusual. That's why I kind of tossed the story. But then I guess there was an uproar, so they're changing it back to not back, but they're changing it so you still have to pay your copay, but you could set up a payment plan.
Not a bad idea. I mean, I get it. I don't think it's
not everybody can afford it, But
not only that, but step it up or notch progress gradually, whatever I'm trying to say.
Yeah, maybe
instead of just doing it right off. Do it. Hey, this next time you're going to have to pay right up front. Give them some leeway or some time to get used to the program. Maybe I get it. It's a big change. And the other thing I did read real quick in one of the articles is sometimes these appointments take months before you can get them, and rescheduling will make you wait months more for a new one. So
right.
That's I think that was one of the largest people were really complaining about is
you
just went right to cutting us off instead of giving us a little bit of a runway.
Yeah,
that's what.
Because I guess people could have showed up and maybe just didn't have any
cash on them or
didn't have it in their account.
Yeah.
So here it is: the scheduled office visits, therapy services, outpatient diagnostic testing, outpatient procedural visits. That's what it covers. That's what it's for. The new copay process does not apply to Medicaid or traditional Medicare emergency department visits, urgent express care, surgeries, cancer treatments, inpatient hospital stays. So, I was surprised it made such a fuss out of it.
Just check your what do you have to do next time you go to the doctor? which you should probably try.
When you're making the appointment, double check.
Yeah, ask him.
Yeah.
Ask him if you can. All right. Moving on. I'm going to touch on this real quick. What the heck is going on in Cleveland Heights? There's a couple stories that keep popping up here and there over the past few months, and I kind of really haven't touched on it too much. But this week, there was like two extra stories coming up.
I'd like to know, because I was following this for a minute and it just seemed like a soap opera.
So there's a recall going on right now for a re-election of the mayor, it sounds like.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through the headlines because we don't really have time to go over them, but we're going to dig a little deeper in this. Cleveland Heights mayor files for re-election as petition to remove him from office starts making the rounds. Cleveland Heights City Council has filed a loss of confidence resolution addressing the mayor's capabilities. Natalie McDaniel, wife of the Cleveland Heights mayor, Khalil Serene, faces a lawsuit over allegations of bigotry and bigoted remarks, And then the one that popped this week that I was actually put into the mix was they've got video of the mayor going into this Cleveland Heights city law office in the middle of the night, I think it is, when nobody's there. No, it wasn't in the middle of the night. It was a holiday. Nobody's there. What's the big deal? He's going into the law offices who are like looking kind of, maybe looking into the mayor, but also he's stated on record he doesn't have access to those law offices, but yet they have him on video twice going into law offices when nobody's there. Yes. Yeah. Like Elmer said, something screwy is going on around here.
Okay.
So I think we're going to, we'll table this, and I want to start digging into this, especially him going into law offices. They got him on video.
Yeah, let's cover that next week. We'll kind of dig into that a little bit. Interesting. Right. Okay, that's a little bit more than I thought it was.
Yeah. That's why I kind of brought it up to the top.
And Cleveland Heights is like probably one of I puked a little bit in my mouth when this first started, because it's just like it was like the most woke thing possible, and we've done so many like woke type of stories from Cleveland Heights already that I was just like, I'm done with this city. I don't even want to talk about it. But okay, here we are again.
It feels like the left eating their own. That's what I feel like.
That's exactly what I thought.
So who did he piss off? Is what I want to know. That's kind of my mindset to all these stories. Who did he piss off?
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep digging into that. Next, food pantry story from last week that we tabled. What do you got for me on that?
Do we have time? If we don't, I can hold off on it.
All right, we could table it again. That's fine.
I mean, it's not. There's no. It's just how the Doge is impacting parts of Ohio, but in a good way.
Yeah. Okay. We'll table that for next week and noted it. Quick spin around Critter Corner for what's going on with our Congress critters and what state legislature. Got a couple more bills that I pulled that we can just mention. So HB 26 is to amend section blah, 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 a whole bunch of numbers, to enact a whole bunch more numbers for the revised code to require state and local authorities to cooperate with the federal government in enforcing immigration laws, to prescribe funding reductions for noncompliance, to name this act the Protecting Ohio Communities Act, and to declare an emergency. And I was all for it until I saw this declare an emergency. So again, if some of these bills that we cover interest you and you want us to dig a little deeper into it or help us dig a little deeper into it, we would love help from our listeners in some of these things. Because again, that's the fools part of the old fools. I would say email us at crookedrivercast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Next, SB 11 to enact a bunch of numbers to revise code to prohibit agreements that restrain engaging in lawful possession or businesses after the conclusion of an employment relationship. This sounds like banning of noncompetes to me. So again, SB 11 in the state Senate. That's what that sounds like to me, which sounds decent. I think it's hard. If you've spent time in the industry and accumulated knowledge and you want to leave and you can't because your company won't let you, And this is kind of something that's going through the federal. There's a federal lawsuit or something going on right now.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next and lastly for this one is SB 200. This is to enact, again, a whole bunch of numbers, of the revised code to create the Ohio-Israel Trade and Innovation Partnership and to make an appropriation. An appropriation means what? Do we know, kids? What does appropriation mean? They want money. So I did something that I'm going to start doing more of. And I downloaded the text of the bill and I ran it through Grok and asked Grok to summarize it for me. And it goes through all this other stuff. They want to appoint this senator, 2 senators to this, and 1 senator to that. And this person, Senate president, gets to get 2 senators in there. The Senate minority leader gets to put 1 senator in this committee. And then House Speaker gets to pick 1, the House minority, all this other BS, just creating more government and justifying their jobds, in my opinion.
Who brought this to the table?
This is, it is Bill. Where did that? There it is, right here.
You said 200, was it?
It's 200, HB 200, and the sponsors are Casey Weinstein is the first one. But it doesn't, built bipartisan bill. It usually tells you who the, I think the first person supporting it is the person who put it in.
Okay.
So there's 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats supporting it right now.
Sounds convoluted.
Sounds, yeah. So I put it in Grok and it goes through all these, committees and stuff. And then you get to the meat of it. And the meat of it is funding. They would like to appropriate $5 million for this from 2026 and 2027 budget. Yeah.
It would, what? Say that again?
They want to appropriate $5 million from the general fund for each fiscal year for this program. To fund the program. To fund $5 million a year. To fund a program.
Who's getting paid?
Exactly. To fund a program to partnership the state of Ohio with the country of Israel. Don't seem like you need $5 million. Like you shouldn't seem like you need any money, really. I mean, you've got Congress people to do these things, right? We already pay them. So why do we need more? Operations. Members will go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I'm just wondering what the hell, where's this money going? Who's getting the money?
And it doesn't really say. The Director of Budget Management will establish accounts for the appropriations in determining how they are maintained. Expenditures are subject to revisions of the 136th Assembly. Sponsors, Weinstein and Banner, that's Republican and Democrat sponsors. The bill aims to strengthen Ohio's economic and innovation ties with Israel through a structured partnership supported by legislative and business community.
What does Ohio have to do with Israel?
I don't know. I don't see a problem with them because Israel does have a very high tech. They do a lot of chip development and stuff like that in Israel.
Okay.
At least they did. Okay. So I don't see a problem with our Congress critters going out and having a relationship to try to get investment from other entities, whether it's Israel, France, or whatever. My problem with it is we already pay people for that. It's called House members and Senate members.
Yeah, they want to establish a more bureaucratic slime.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see that it doesn't bring in any. Where's the money going? Where's the money going? I don't know. Operations members will serve without compensation, but may be reimbursed for expenses subject to available funds.
Boy.
Huh. That's pretty interesting. The partnership elects a chair. Partnership must issue an annual report, first due in 15 months, blah, 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 blah. So there's the key. Members serve without compensation, but may be reimbursed for expenses like lunch, a plane ticket, a car, a vacation, expenses.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but this bipartisan bill, And so can't blame one side or the other. Blame both.
Yep.
So again, anyone wants to help us dig into some of these, please email us at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. On to our last segment, which would be the feel good stuff. And we'll touch really quick on a couple of things here. Steamboat Willy. Not this Steamboat Willy.
Okay.
I only play a short clip because it's Disney and they're very hyper vigilant on that kind of stuff. But Steamboat William G. Mathers turns 100. So I guess the thing was built in obviously 1925, and it sits down by the Rock Hall of Fame on the water. It's been there for a few decades. It doesn't even tell you how long it's been there. But it is. It was retired in 1980.
Yeah, it's over 40 years now. Right?
Yeah, been sitting. Yeah, it's staple. It's a museum. You can go visit it. I can't remember the last time I was there. I was so young. But it's right next to the Science Center and in between the Science Center and Rock Hall of Fame. So, happy birthday to the Steamboat William G. Mathers. And lastly, it sounds like there is a trail in Ohio that made the national list.
Oh, cool.
Of hiking trails. So Whisper Cave.
I saw the article. Where's it at?
Whisper Cave in Hocking Hills, a 5-mile hiking trail in Hocking Hills State Park.
Cool.
And has been named one of the best in the United States. And it says they're top 10 here. Are they in the top 10? I don't think so. But it's just in the top. There's some nice trails on this list. We got Whisper Cave is number 4. Yep, 5 miles loop, and you go through a cave. Offers hikers access to fun swinging bridge, and the second largest cave in the region. So, summertime is here. Go hiking. Cool. We got some great hiking trails around this great state of Ohio. So, take advantage. Our metro parks are not to be taken for granted. So, use them. You ever been on that trail? I haven't.
No, I've never been to Hocking Hills, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I've been there once. I stayed there overnight for a couple nights. It's a beautiful area. It's beautiful. It's actually a lot of times hard to even get a cabin in Hocking Hills. It's so busy in the summertime.
Yeah. I think the last time my wife and I were thinking about going down there, we just couldn't find a place to stay. I think you got to book it pretty far in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have friends that go there every year because they were married. That's one of the reasons we stay there. We had friends that were married there, so they had their wedding there, and then the next week they had a reception up here.
Cool.
I think really just to make me get in a tux twice instead of once, but I was in the wedding. But it's beautiful. Cabins were it was just awesome. Good stuff. If you like that kind of wilderness, and we got a great state for it. On that note, let's wrap it up here. crookedrivercast@gmail.com. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Oh, man,
I got a clip here. I wanted to play.
Okay.
It is a retard.
How you doing?
This is Kira Sedwig, Kevin Bacon's wife.
Oh.
And she put a thing out on Twitter or on TikTok, I guess. When I heard this, I had to clip it. So here it goes.
Okay.
I felt like it was important to get on the blower and talk a little bit about how I'm feeling and wondering how you're feeling about the state of our union. I'm finding myself pretty scared about a lot of things.
She's 59 years old.
Scared about losing my rights as a woman. Scared about losing my right to vote as a woman. Scared about losing autonomy over my body as a woman. Scared of my parents' Social Security check.
She's scared of her parents' Social Security check. She's a multimillionaire.
Scared of food banks running out of food and not being able to replenish because they're no longer getting federal funding. Yes, the federal government can use improvement, and there's a lot of things that they've done right over the decades. So I think the answer to being freaked out for me is about community. And I feel excited that we're coming together as a nation on Saturday. You can look it up in your area. It's Hands Off March. And
So that's from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going
won't
to say
play
they
the
have
rest
another
of
one. No. She's so scared.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I'm just like, this is like an actress who's made multi-millions of dollars. I know her husband, Kevin Bacon, lost a lot of money to, who was the scammer from years ago? Probably like Tony
Bernie Madoff?
Yes.
Yeah.
He lost a ton of money, but I have a feeling he made a lot of money since then. So
yeah, I think those, I'm sure they have deals where they get residuals from movies, right?
Oh yeah.
And Kevin Bacon may have been in some big movies over the years.
Yeah, just a few. And I love that guy as an actor too. I mean, we just watched a show that was on Netflix called Sirens, and he's so good in it. Good show, by the way. It's a limited series, so it's 8 episodes. It's really good. Anyways, so I just wanted to play that, and then I also wanted to mention a local musician.
Oh, that's right. We did have her on there.
Yeah,
good stuff. That was the first one. I skipped right over it. Horrible today.
That's all right. You had a late night. Anyways, this is a local. She's a local musician, singer. She's just released a new single. Her name is Sophia Fisher, and I'm just going to play a minute of it just so you can hear her voice. She's 23 years old from Cleveland here, and her single is called 20 Times This, and you could find it on Spotify.
Like it.
Picking up girls off their feet while I'm falling off mine. I'm watching you stare at me, but it's not the same. The tension between us, it fills the space, and neither of us seem to mind, but you're still on mine.
The girl can sing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check it out. It's on Spotify. She just had she just shot a music video. Cinematographer that worked on Jamie Gunn's upcoming Superman film. So I think she's getting some backing here. So keep an eye out for her. She might go somewhere. Somebody from Cleveland. So
it's awesome. Cool. Awesome. Cleveland connections. Love it.
Yeah.
Need more of those from the rock and roll city, as they say.
Hell
right?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah.
So this is the first time I should have asked you if you were good at the end of the show, where every other time I ask you and you have nothing. So my fault.
I'm just I'm like sitting here old and foolish and thinking about your late night, and I'm being very forgiving.
Yes, thank you. Because yes, it's the old and foolish part is coming out with my late night. Yes,
that's no big deal.
Yeah, it's all good. It's like I said, we're just two regular guys just doing this. So bear with us, people. We appreciate getting all the way to the end. And thank you very much for listening to today's show. And we will talk to you next week.
Peace.